I have one of my favorite investigative journalists in the world, and I know he's probably one of yours too, Kit Klarenberg. He has been working with independently, but also with the Gray Zone, with his own work on Substack, with RT, with Sputnik, with other consortium news, all kinds of outlets. He's for years, and he's been uncovering the intelligence communities, attacks and censorship of independent journalism. So welcome, Kit Klarenberg. So happy to be here, that you're here.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good. Now, I know I might have fumbled some of the news outlets because there's literally so many, but people can look you up at Muckrake and see the exhaustive list there, but you are quite prolific. And I wanted to start out with talking to you about Boris Johnson resignation. And now, of course, we've gotten the news that Priti Patel is going to be running for prime minister. So a lot of Americans aren't really familiar with some of the reporting you've done. And so that's why I wanted you to kind of break it down and educate people about like some of this reporting, which is so crucial and so linked to what's happening right now in the world. So I just want to show this 30-second clip. Reef, could you bring up the Boris Johnson comment and then we'll go to you.
Putin's aggression in Ukraine. And let me say now to the people of Ukraine that I know that we in the UK will continue to back your fight for freedom for as long as it takes. And at the same time, in this country, we've been pushing forward a vast program of investment in infrastructure and skills.
Go ahead and cut it there, Reef. All right, thank you. So Kit, I just wanted your feedback on the recent events of the last few days, especially on the heels of some of your reporting.
Sure. I mean, I think that, Boris Johnson's resignation, it seemed to come out of nowhere, and it seems that was something that he was fighting. I mean, the knives have been out for him behind closed doors for some time, from both the deep state, but also elements within his own party. I think that he's significantly disliked for not having delivered a kind of Singapore on Thames type Brexit deal, which was the kind of promise upon which he was elected. And yes, he was supported in this by some very shadowy, dark forces behind the scenes who are willing to engage in a variety of underhand, undemocratic tactics to get him into Downing Street. And I think that within the kind of 2 years of him being prime minister, and yes, failing to which was basically, it was the proposition was basically impossible. Like you're not going to be able to emulate an effective city state which is highly repressive in England. The working class just wouldn't have it. And so after 2 years of kind of limping on behind closed doors, people like Richard Dearlove and some of the members of his right-wing intelligence cabal, which we'll get into, were openly saying, well, we need to get rid of this guy. They were thinking of replacing him with either Priti Patel or Liz Truss, our Foreign Secretary, who's just announced a leadership bid today with a very bizarre video. Truss is quite the character. Like she gained some kind of notoriety a few years ago by this very, very strange speech where she was boasting about how she was going to personally sell cheese to the Chinese. It's a motley assortment of characters vying to replace Boris Johnson. I think that if you look at polls, overwhelmingly, there was this amazing, I think it was published by the Times. There was this amazing poll that was talking about how it was listing the kind of public support for the various kind of potential and confirmed candidates in this, and it was I think Rishi Sunak was the highest, 13%, and then overwhelming in terms of public support, and then people saying none of the above and don't know was almost 50% in total. So quite clearly, wow. I mean, I think that whoever replaces him is stepping into quite the Pandora's box opening, I think, because you have rampant inflation. It's going to get worse as Europe pivots away from Russian energy or attempts to. Whether that will bear fruit or not remains to be seen. And I think that, yes, that the the UK has been at the forefront of arming Ukraine and kind of pushing for Ukrainian victory. I mean, I strongly suspect with, you know, the Russian advance continues, by, you know, come autumn, when we're meant to have a new prime minister, it could well be over. You know, recently a senior Ukrainian military official announced that they were going to mount a major counteroffensive in the south and the east of Ukraine using 1 million people. I'm not sure where they're going to get all of these troops from.
Right.
It sounds like a little doolally and impossible to me. Maybe it's just another bid for more weapons and funding and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, it was recently reported that they're going to start conscripting women into kind of frontline combat roles, which is, I mean, I think it says something about the kind of the level of destruction that's been rained down on the Ukrainian military.
Absolutely, absolutely.